All right, honey, what are we doing today?
Today we're going to install the WalTech RV Smart Thermostat. Now, do we need a smart thermostat in the trailer? Maybe. Am I a gadget and gizmo guy? Absolutely. So when we had the opportunity to check this out and see what we thought about it, we took it. So let's follow along and I'll show you what's in the box, how we put it on the wall, and we'll give you some rundown on the apps and the features. Alright guys, so we have the WalTech RV Smart Thermostat. So let's open up the box and see what we got. Alright, looks like we have the thermostat itself. And it's going to go like that. We've got, looks like the mounting bracket and the wiring harness there. And the all-important instruction manual. Alright, so this is our old thermostat. There's nothing wrong with it, but we wanted to go with something that gave us the ability to control it remotely. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unhook it from the wall. And there's a little tab right back here. If you can see. Push that down, lift up. And that's going to expose all of your wiring. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a picture of the wiring, and then I'm going to do some research to find out, make sure that I have the right colored wire for the right function. Alright, so I've done the research, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer the color-coded wires to the new wiring harness one wire at a time so that I don't lose my place. Alright, so I've got all the wires into the new wiring harness. Now I'm going to take off the old plate and we're going to mount the new mounting bracket. Alright, so we encountered our first problem is I can't get this through, so I'm going to have to take out some of these wires so I can get it through. Alright, so I got the mounting bracket all up. I got everything wired up. And now what we're going to do is we're going to plug in the thermostat and mount it into position. And then it'll twist on, just like that. All set. And voila. We have power and everything is working. Thermostat is installed. Now we're going to check out the app and go from there. So now that I've got it installed, what's your initial impressions?
This is quite a bit bigger than the one we had. Our other one was probably about that wide and that tall. So yeah, it's definitely something you want to make sure you have enough room for width-wise and height-wise for it to fit in. But I haven't played with it yet, so I don't really know how user-friendly it will be for me. But it looks basically straightforward with all the buttons. It tells you what they are, the little pictures. So
yeah, and so as we go out on our adventures and we go hiking and biking and stuff like that, you know, we want something to be able to protect Bear, right?
Yeah, exactly. If the power goes out, or if something's wrong in here, this will alert us as far as it being, if it's off, if it's offline, or the temperature goes a little wonky, we'll know.
All right, so these are my impressions. Like Rhonda said, it is big. There are other models that are streamlined, they're touchscreen. This is a bit chunky, It does have it has two modes of communication. One is from Wi-Fi and one is through cellular network. So it initially comes with a SIM card pre-installed. When you first set up an account with WalTech, you actually have to put in a credit card. Now it's going to be $5.99 will be the initial charge, and that doesn't include the price of the unit. But what that does is that's going to activate the SIM card, and then from there you can go in and set up your Wi-Fi if you're going to use it Wi-Fi only, and set up the app that way. So once you have everything set up, then you can turn the cellular service off and you don't have to pay for it again. But initially, to get it all set up and programmed right, you do need to pay for that $5.99 up front. So I've talked with the owners, and that's the way they have it set up right now. It actually kind of covers the cost of putting a SIM card in the machine. So as far as user operations, it can be a little bit difficult, but there's a learning curve. So once you know what the functions do, it's not too bad. And then having the ability to go through the app and change your temperature, like say you're in the bedroom and it's a little stuffy and you want the fan on, you can just turn it on through the app and boom, the fan's on. And like we said earlier, you know, we do go out hiking and we do bike. Sometimes we take Bear with us, sometimes we don't. Well, if we're out and about, especially in this Texas heat, we want to make sure that Bear is always under climate control. So with this, we will get an alert if the power goes out. We'll get an alert if the temperature range is outside of the boundaries that we preset. And then a really unique feature, it's kind of a theft deterrent. It has a motion sensor. So if you look right here, that's going to be your motion sensor eye. And when you turn that feature on, if it detects anything, you're going to get a notification on your phone. So if you're out of the RV park and you're out running errands and then all of a sudden you get an alert, well, somebody might be in your rig. So we're still getting to know all the features. I'm about to do a rundown of the app, and I'll take you along with us and show you the ins and outs. Alright, so now let's take a look at the app. Now I am currently running an Android phone, and the app is WalTech RV Connect. On the Apple Store, I'm assuming they'll have the same name, but just in case, you'll search WalTech. So let's open it up, and you can see that there are 5 tiles, and then you've got your drop-down menu as well. Drop-down menu just gives you your dashboard, which is the 5 tiles. The profile that you set up, if you have multiple air conditioners and multiple units, you can select device selection. With that, you can name each individual one, like living room, bedroom, third AC, whatever. That way you know which one you're controlling. All right. As we're looking at the main tiles, we'll go into one by one. RV climate control is going to be the main one that everybody will use. All right. So as you can see, it's got the information listed up top as far as when it was updated last. And you've got your manual settings or an auto settings. So right now, as you can see, our RV is 51 degrees and there's 49% humidity. It rained last night, so it's pretty humid. We've got a dehumidifier running right next to it, so that's going to help. So you can set your temperature if you just click on that, scroll up, scroll down. Very simple, easy to use. So you'll set your temperature like that. And if you do fan, you can go in and click the fan on by sliding it on. And then you can control the fan speed, low or high, just by that. So we're going to go ahead and reset those back to what they were. Fan is on auto. All right. Now HVAC control. So at this point, you can, if you just want your air conditioner on and you don't want to take the chance of your heater coming on, you can turn on each individual unit. So we will slide cooling on, and that way the air conditioner will be ready to go. If it is the winter time and you need the heater on, you do the opposite. Or if you want to do hot and cold, like if you're say in Texas and it goes from 30 degrees in the morning to 65 degrees in the afternoon in sunshine, you'll have both on, and that way you can turn the heater on in the morning and the air conditioner on in the afternoon. And then any changes you make, you'll just click the submit button. All right, so let's go out to the main dashboard. Here we have pet monitor, and you click that to turn it on. And if you click it again, you can set the parameters. So it's going to tell you that it's monitoring the voltage of the coach. And again, it'll tell you up top what time it pulled this data. And then down here is the temperature monitoring for your pet. So you'll set thresholds for alarms. So if the temperature in your RV gets below 60, it's going to set off an alarm, and I'm sorry, not an alarm, but it's going to send you an alert so you know what's going on. And the same with if it gets too hot as well. So, and then with this, you can go in each individual one and select the temperature threshold that you want. And then hit submit, and it'll go ahead and program in your thing. Now, one thing we noticed last night, that it does provide you with an alert. We had a cold front coming in last night, and my phone was sending me alerts through the app that current room temperature is lower than the target temperature and is unfavorable for your pet. So I know the system works. As you can see, that alert last night was at 12:19 a.m. Temperature was dropping. All right, so that's a pretty neat feature. That way you know, hey, you're going to get an alert if the temperature drops, or if it gets too hot and you had forgotten to turn on the HVAC system. All right, so now we'll go into the RV motion sensor alert. And if you turn that on, basically what that's going to do is that is going to turn on the motion sensor that's in the thermostat. And that way, if you leave for the day and somebody happens to walk in your RV, it's going to be picked up on your motion sensor, and it's going to send you an alert, just like a security system would if you had a regular alarm. So that's pretty simple. So turn that on, turn it off. All right, so the HVAC runtime tracker. Now, I have not played with this, but basically, once you go in and set it up, it's going to tell you how much runtime you have on your unit, on your AC and your heater, and then what the potential cost is. Now, you can go in under settings and you can set your price point per kilowatt or the price you're paying for propane. So that way in real time, you can see how much you're using. So if you're at if you're set up at a monthly rate and you're paying electricity, you know about what you're going to be running for the air conditioner or the heater, and that way you can kind of budget for that if it's going with over thresholds. All right, and the final tile is going to be other settings. So I will click that, and here's what you can do is you can go from Fahrenheit to Celsius. That's a personal preference. You can tell it whether or not you want to monitor the voltage that's coming into your rig. Okay. And then connectivity alert. Do you want to receive alerts for anything that we've gone over as far as pet or anything else? You can turn that on and off from right there. Now, these next couple tabs are going to be if you want to set up your specific information about your furnace. Do you have a heat pump? Do you have a heat strip? And it's set up for 2 sources of heat if you want to do 1 and 2. And then here we have the HVAC tracker inputs. So here you can go in and program your kilowatts per hour. So say you're paying 13 cents. You can put that in, and now it'll calculate how much you're using and tell you what your projected bill will be. And the same with propane rate per gallon. Just change that in to $3. Submit, and then now that's going to keep it up. Okay. Now here's where you control your unit, or you can specify the units that you have. Like we have a 15,000 unit cooling unit, and I had put in 1500. So obviously that was wrong. So I changed that. And then again, with your furnace, you can go back in and set each individual things. Firmware update. Basically, it's a downloadable update to keep your thermostat updated with the proper firmware. I did that as soon as we got set up, so it's all running good. You can turn the Wi-Fi, you can configure it through the device. You'll turn the device on, it'll create its own Wi-Fi. You can connect, and then from that point you can control your access point. So this is where you can control your access point for your Wi-Fi, meaning that you can go in and say, all right, I want to connect to this network, this is the password. So in our rig, we have a dedicated hotspot, the T-Mobile 5G home internet. If you haven't seen our video on it, it's worth a look. But we have that keyed in to ours, so we don't have to use the cellular work. Pretty much that's going to be it for the app. Pretty straightforward. Like any kind of tech, you got to play around with it a little bit to familiarize yourself. It's pretty simple to use, and we'll see how it goes from here. We'll do a follow-up and let you know how that goes. But for right now, you know, this is just a new toy for me to play with, and we wanted to bring it to you guys so you can take a look and make your own decisions and see what you think. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know if a smart thermostat is something you see as frivolous for an RV, or do you see the actual benefit of it, like we're going to use it for pet monitoring? Do you have something like that? Would you consider buying something if you needed it, if you had a pet? You know, let me know. We don't know how this is going to work for us, but I'm interested in finding out, so we'll let you guys know along the way.